Hi guys, you see I took that strand off the tree like I said I was going to. This is that bulb, that pixel that went bad. So I'll try to make this as quick as I can. I don't have a way to time lapse this or anything like that, but the easiest thing to do is just come in here and get as close as you can to the pixel, because you're not going to use this pixel anymore, so it's junk and you'll have extra wire to work with, which makes it a lot easier. So snip and snip, and that's what you get right there, that little one. I have a bunch of them down here because they do fail. But what I do now is I just take these and strip them back most of the way, and I'll show you why here in a minute. Most times when you do soldering stuff, you don't need to do this, but I do, because what I use for these is a lifesaver. So let me grab some of those real quick. So when it comes to low voltage stuff like this, and these are great for it, I use these. You've probably seen little videos online of these. These are heat shrink solder connectors, I guess. Solder tubes. I don't know what the exact word of them. I don't know if they have a name on here. Solder and seal connectors, I guess I want to say. So basically what happens, you put your wire in both ways. You don't necessarily even have to twist them together. There's a little metal ring here. There's solder on it as well, and what happens when you heat this up, it seals both ends, and this little piece here melts the solder, which then connects your wires together with solder, then puts this metal ring around it to help give it strength. These things are a lifesaver. They have in different sizes. This is like the smaller, one of the smaller ones for like 18 gauge wire, which is what I'm using here. But so what I do real quick is I just snip off a little bit of the ends here, and each one of these little wire strippers here are nice to have for that, especially when you're outside in the cold, which I'm not right now. I'm at my computer desk doing this. All right, so I do twist them, just that way, because it keeps them a little bit cleaner. It takes a few seconds. I'm trying to keep it on the frame too. Yeah, I had a couple people kind of curious on what I have to do and stuff like that, so that's what I'm doing. This is just for informational. I have some here. These are good ones. I had a few that when I make props, you have to cut some off, so this is nothing new to me, so I'll just set these ones aside. For the next time another one goes bad, because I know it's going to happen. And I do the same thing with these ends here. I'll go back most of the way. And this doesn't hurt anything, obviously. It just doesn't look as pretty. And when it's in the back part of the show, it doesn't really matter. And yet again, strip these back. I say a quarter of an inch or so, nothing crazy. You can kind of see right there, just not very far. You don't need much. Now, if you are a perfectionist and you do want to solder the normal way, then put a heat shrink tube around it, that is okay too. It just takes more time, and I found these work great for this, and I don't need to, which most of my connections on my props are soldered the proper way. That was actually before I found out about these things. Do I regret it? Did it take a lot of time? It did, because it takes a long time. So now I got all the wires are bare. There's two sides to these. One's, at least these ones is a little smaller hole, and this side has a little bit thicker hole. What I want to do is I want to take the smaller side and put it on the side with a longer wire. And I'll show you why I do that here in a minute too. Actually, I didn't grab enough of them. Okay, so smaller sides, one on each one of these. This is the side I'm going to do first, because, yeah, why not, right? They both got to be done, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, I do have a little torch lighter right here, which is pretty nice. Can't complain. Sorry, what I got to find out now is on this cord here, on this bulb, what am I connecting it to? Now, if you look at these, well, I can't really show you too well. I don't think I'm going to be able to. It's not going to. Maybe. Anyway, you can kind of, there you go. You see where it says GND and 12V. then D1 in the middle. The 12 is your power. The G and D is clearly your ground, and then you have your data in the middle. Get back in there, focus. So there's an input and output. So this one here is actually an input. So the data travels this direction down the strand. So on this pixel here, I have to make it the output. So when you find the 12 volt and all that stuff on one side, that's the input. So you want to flip it around, and it won't have any of that information, but the wires corresponding on the other end are the same. So this side has 12. So the one right next to it on the back side, that's your 12. So that's what I'm going to do first. Okay, now I've got to determine which one's which on this one here. Okay, so this wire right here, I'll move these ones out of the way a little bit. This is my 12. So literally all I can do, see, I do twist them sometimes. Like in this situation, I will, because why not? Now I'm actually going to snip that back just a little bit. There we go. So now that I got that, now you see it's hunched over, so I'll push it the opposite direction of the heat shrink tube, and the wider mouth will actually allow me to slide it over a lot easier. And all I gotta do is line it up with the metal. Okay, and I don't think you're gonna see this very well, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna heat this side and then this side without burning myself, so that the way it shrinks, I gotta do both sides. So I'll do that real quick. You can see it go down. Let it smokes a little bit, nothing too crazy. It doesn't take long. Okay, now that I got those sides done, I go to the center. Both sides. The solder has melted, and now the ring has went around it. So it's really hard to see it, but now this connection is done. Completely done. That fast. It's waterproof, and it's nicely connected. I could actually tug on this. I'll wait till it cools down a little bit. Keep on blowing it, but it's a tight connection, which is really, really nice to have. Okay, so the next wire would be the center one here, which also makes it now this center one. Now do the same exact thing. I would just move it over, move it up. Kind of, you can just eyeball it where it needs to be, like right between the two. Okay. Gotta hold it just right so you don't burn yourself, because it's fire. Now these things are very cheap. They are not expensive at all, and they are super awesome. They are my favorite now. And that one's done now too. Now you can, what happens, I've done it plenty of times, is you'll put too much heat on the center piece, and it will bubble, it'll boil that solder, and it will pop and come out. Now that's not, doesn't make it bad, but when you do that, you let it cool down a little bit, then you kind of squeeze it together. That means it seals it again. It's still usable, just, yeah, you gotta be careful with it. And of course, if it pops, it's nothing crazy, but you don't want to get it on you either, because it might hurt a little bit. It really does not take much heat for very long. These are like a very low temperature melting point. I'm trying to hurry up here. Okay. Same thing yet again on both sides. You can even see it melt on the inside of there. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that. That's basically what you do, and I do the same things over on this side. I verify that the 12 volt is 12, the ground is ground, and the data is data. That way the data flows, and it'll light up this bulb and transfer the data down the line. That's how this works. So that's all I'm going to do for now. That way you guys kind of get an idea, and then I just got to go put the prop back up on the tree. In this case, the mega tree. So yeah, that's it. So if you got other questions about this one or want to see anything else, let me know. See you later.